All right, we are about to start our digital mastery call. We're gonna give it a couple moments for people who wants to join, and then we'll get started. We're gonna post about it on our group that you can all join if you'd like. It's called Be the One. All right, let's get started. So, today's subject, we're going to be talking about perceived value, what it means, and how you can use that when you build your funnels, your websites, your landing pages. So, quickly, I'm Oran Aviv. I run an agency in the space for more than a decade of building custom design funnels and websites. And join us again today is Nanko, which is one of our lead project managers and in charge of a lot of stuff in business related to operations. Hey, Nanko.
Hey Aaron, hey everyone.
Awesome. So let's just dive right into it. I know we're all short in time over here. So we want to talk about the idea of perceived value. So first of all, what is perceived value? Okay, so let's create a distinction. First, you have the value that of your product or service, right? So you do something, and for someone, or you sell a product, and that product has to service has to deliver on certain promise, right? It needs to solve a problem. It needs to help fix something that happens in someone's life, either with their body, with their home, something they aspire to become, knowledge they want to acquire, legal matter, whatever that is, right? So there's a lot of people in the world providing services and products, and that's what we call the value. They provide a specific value that's equals to the outcome that you will get from whatever they're offering you. But a perceived value are the layers built on top of that. These are the layers that basically differentiate one product from another. And we're gonna dissect what those are and then see how you can use perceived value in your online presentations when you build a website or funnel. So a perceived value, a way to think about it, is things that has to do with what somebody feels about the product or service that you have, what somebody emotionally get connected to, what impact do they believe it will have on their life that goes just beyond fixings, like all the things related to the product. And we'll get in shortly in very specific examples of that. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that there's 4 layers to build perceived value. This is actually from a very famous book that I recommend everybody who own a business to read. It's called The Wizard of Ads. It's a book that was written quite a while back, and it talks about advertising, but beyond just advertising, it actually explores a lot of ideas in marketing and a lot of ideas about brand and how to use messaging and positioning and so on. Really great book. It's the title of the book has the words ads in it, but it goes way beyond just talking about ads. So it breaks down perceived value into four layers. And the first layer is reputation. The second one is the presentation. The third is lighting, and the fourth one is decor. And a good example to wrap your mind around it is when you walk in, let's say, to a restaurant. Let's say you want to go get food somewhere. So obviously there's different places that can offer you food, different restaurants. So when you explore your options, you're taking all these things into consideration, right? Because the reputation of the restaurant, like how long it's been around, what is it specialized in, what it's known for. That would make, that's the perceived value, because the exact value would just getting your belly filled, right? You're just hungry and you want to eat something. But the perceived value is everything that has to do with the reputation. Then there is the presentation, like how is the menu looking like? What's the when they serve you the meal, the dish, like how are they serving it? Okay. And then there is the part of the lighting and decor, which is how does the restaurant feel? How is the atmosphere? What's the lighting? How do they use? Do they have a little table lamp or a candle? All these things create an emotional experience for us that we call perceived value. And then the decor would be everything that has to do with how is the sign looks on the restaurant. Do they have different sculptures? What kind of chairs they use? What kind of tablecloth they use? You get what I'm saying. So that would be the perceived value. So that's what makes a difference between walking into one location that serves food and another location. How they take the ideas of perceived value, which is again reputation, presentation, lighting, and decor, and how they implement them in their establishment. So now that we understand what it is, we can start thinking about how we can do the same things when it comes to building a website or a funnel or presenting a product online. So let's dive deep how we can do that. So first, reputation. What does reputation means when you're trying to have it featured on your website? So you're trying to show credibility, right? So you can definitely show how many years of experience your business has. You can show how many years experience you have. You can show how many years your business has been around. Many companies do that, since 1976 or whatever. You can also use your origin story, like how did you start the business? What drove you to take action and build that business to begin with? To build yourself more credibility, making you look like you understand your customers. The next thing could be any type of testimonials and reviews. What are people saying about your business to support and create? What are just basically what are people saying? What do they think about you? Obviously, that shows level of credibility. Any type of affiliation that you have with either different online partners or networking groups. You want to show that. Many companies, they will show on their site that they are certified by this, so they are part of that specific group, or they are part of that organization. That creates a level of credibility that adds to your reputation. When somebody considers you as an option, you can have that on your website. Your social media presence, right? What are you doing on social media? Are you active on social media? Are you posting often? That all adds to also reputation, because you can feature that on your website, and a lot of people will go and check your social media as well as your website before choosing to work with you or buy your product. Becoming a thought leader, participating in different online communities or performing on stage, those are things that adds to your reputation, and those things you can also feature on your website. If you have a video that you spoke to a group of, let's say, 1,000 people, you want to feature it on your website. People trust, when you can show someone that other people are listening to you, then they are more likely to listen to you as well. And just being transparent and even showing like your team, giving people a bit access to what happens behind the scenes, showing who are the people in your company that your prospects may work with. That creates a certain level of transparency. And all these things are basically how you take the idea of reputation within perceived value and easily implement that on your website. So we're going to move on to the second part, which has to do with presentation. And this is where you can really be creative, because presentation is how you are taking your service or product and how you're wrapping it and how you're delivering it to someone. And think about it as your product as a seed. What you do is like a seed, right? But when somebody just get that seed, and that seed, right? Your client, when they plant that seed, let's say they're planting they want to grow tomatoes, then you want to create a packaging around that seed that would show, right, picture of tomatoes, right? That's very easy to understand, because you want to show people what they're going to get. You want to make them excited about the outcome. You want to maybe use some green color so it feels natural. These are all presentations. So that's a very basic example to understand that. But if we go back to a restaurant example, how does the menu looks like? You are receiving the food on your table. How is the waiter receiving serving you the food? How is the plate organized? All those things are the presentation of that particular product the restaurants offer. So in your business, if you have a physical product, it's a little bit easier, but if you have a service, you can do that too. What are people getting as they work with you? Are they getting access to some education? Maybe you want to deliver them something physically, maybe a nice wrapping, some books with some nice graphic. When you have a product, how's the packaging like? Invest in your packaging. When somebody opens the package or get your product, maybe do something where they're getting some additional unexpected element. Like, I'll give you an example here. We have a service where we help people get set up with CRM and software, and basically they become what we call part of our membership. They become part of a platform. So back in the day, we created this little metal card for WebExpress, which each client would get its own ID, and it's metal. It's really nice, and they can basically contact us 24/7 for issues, almost like an American Express Platinum card. And the idea is that when you become part of what we do here, depending what tier of product you get access to this, and that creates a statement to our clients, show that we care, and here is something that you get. Not necessarily all clients get that, but you can actually contact us 24/7. So what are elements in your business and in your services that you can create that will create that high-end look and feel? Because what we don't want to do, right, we don't want our products to appear like a commodity, because then what happens, we simply end up competing for price. So some tactics that you can use to really create that would be the use of great photography and videography. The way you film the product and take photos of your product, and how you present it on your website. Some companies are doing it really, really, really well. And you can get a lot of ideas from the big brands out there. Like I always refer to Insta360 as a great brand in the camera space. Apple, which everybody's familiar with. But just get the ideas. You can actually mimic. We live in a time that you can clearly see what big companies are doing when it comes to their site. It's not a secret. And you can literally copy the idea. Like, don't copy how the implementation, but you can copy the idea and ask yourself, can I do that in my business? And what we need to understand when it comes to our website, that when people go online and they look at your website, they're not comparing you to just, what your website was a year ago. They are comparing you to what they're used to receiving from all the big brands, from Nike and from if you guys like luxury goods, from even Chanel. Like, they're really comparing you to the big brands. So there is a level of design that is already expected, a level what we call of user experience that by consumers is already expected.